Hello and welcome to another Cliff Reviews Art House. This time I'm reviewing the film Horde, directed by Luna Carmoon. So this is Luna's first feature. She has made some shorts, and this film was really popular at the London Film Festival and apparently received a standing ovation at the 2023 Venice Film Festival. However, it has mixed reviews from the critics. A friend told me it was really good, so I was quite looking forward to seeing this film. So, where do I start? On one level, I found this film a very uncomfortable watch. I really can't say that I liked it overall. There were things about it that I really liked, but overall, it's a pretty hard watch. On another level, this is an excellent film. Really unusual, really creative, not quite like anything that I've seen before. Clearly, Luna is a massive talent. This is a film about a young girl, Maria, raised by a single mum that's a compulsive hoarder. And the first part of the film is Maria's childhood living with her mum, and life is really chaotic and dysfunctional. The second part of the movie, we see Maria as a teenager, just at the age that she's leaving school. She's living in foster care and dealing with the kind of residual impact of this unconventional upbringing. For me, it's a film first and foremost about mental health and the impact on children of living with a parent with mental health problems. Interestingly, I watched this the day after watching the Danish film Rose, which is also about mental health and the impact on the people around the person with the mental health issues. But these films couldn't be more different. They're completely different tones. This is a much darker and more troubled film. In the first act, we see Maria's childhood with the chaotic mum. And to be honest, it's like a horror film at times. I winced. I felt very uncomfortable. I think it amounts to almost child abuse, to child neglect. Clearly, Maria is questioning the situation, and at times she does express her unhappiness and she's having difficulties at school. Clearly, this is a child that's not being taken care of. I found the scenes where Maria's mum is trying to be particularly loving or is giving gifts particularly terrifying. The mum's disorder kind of gets in the way of her role as a mother. She clearly loves and tries to care for Maria, but the disorder acts like an addiction. It kind of has to come first. So the love is often quite forced on terms that fit around the mum's hoarding disorder. And Maria is just an innocent child desperately trying to conform, often seeming to enjoy this kind of chaotic, almost fun at times world, but at the same time knowing that something really isn't right. I thought that this was terrific filmmaking, although I really didn't enjoy it, if that makes sense. There were moments of tenderness and a kind of joy, and I think that I was supposed to appreciate that there was real love and intimacy between them, but I could never feel this. It always felt conditional. It always felt almost like torture or abuse of Maria. This is quite an extreme reaction, I think, and I'm not sure this was Luna's intention. I watched some interviews with her afterwards, and yeah, I think that she intends for this film to have more of a magical element to it than I picked up. But this was my experience of the first portion of the film. This kind of awful dichotomy, this conflict between a kind of free, magical, joyous childhood and the experience with an underlying truth of abuse, dysfunction and neglect. It wasn't pleasant to watch. It's the kind of film where you feel like you need to have a shower after watching that first act. It's very tactile in a not pleasant way, and it's smelly, but it's really well done, really engaging. And the second act is just as interesting. Maria is living with this lovely foster mother, Michelle. Michelle does provide some relief from the rest of the film. She's warm and loving, she's stable, consistent and reliable, and she does seem to provide unconditional love to foster children. In many ways, Maria appears to be living a much more normal life with Michelle, but gradually we see that the impact of this childhood trauma starts seeping out. Much of this happens through her odd relationship with Michael, a previous foster child of Michelle's that comes to stay for a while. Michael clearly has a troubled past too, so between them, they do engage in some very odd behaviours. They're like sister and brother, but there's an underlying kind of flirty and erotic energy. At times, this film really is grotesque and it's masochistic. It's definitely dysfunctional. But as with Maria's mother, there is a kind of love and intimacy in the friendship between Michael and Maria. There are moments where, again, I think we're supposed to believe that the mother has passed on something magical to Maria. I'm thinking particularly of the scenes of the letterbox where it shines golden, and the what happens inside the laundry in the garden. But for me, I was too conflicted about Maria's trauma to enjoy anything magical in these moments. And it felt like these were almost Maria's psychosis, a child remembering the positive aspects of their abuser. I did feel that the ending was presented as if it was a happy ending, Maria finding solace in the memories of her mum and exploring hoarding herself as a way of connecting back with her mum. And apparently finding a connection back to her. A bit of me felt very uncomfortable with this ending, like I was supposed to gloss over the childhood abuse and neglect, that I was supposed to be feeling that it is possible to appreciate the beautiful things that occurred in this childhood. I wasn't sure how to kind of reconcile this, but I realised in the end that it can be read as all being presented from Maria's perspective, from the child's perspective. Her view is distorted, and this is the way she copes with the trauma. But for me, it's definitely not a happy ending. I'm not sure that my reading is what Luna intended. The fireworks at the end seem to be supposed to convey some kind of resolution, some kind of freedom. But for me, Maria is not free in any way. From this point, she's fully in a situation like her mum. In fact, she's probably going to become her mum. Do you know what? I wouldn't want to criticise this film. I think in many ways it's a brilliant piece of work. Listening to Luna talking about the film, clearly it's very personal. I have the feeling that it's doing her own therapy to a large extent. And I think when you do this, it always risks being self-indulgent and being too personal, that other people won't get all of the references that you're putting in. But I don't think it falls into that trap. It reads in a way definitely that doesn't feel self-indulgent. This is a messy, sophisticated story told really, really well. The acting is very good. It's really authentic and feels natural, including the young Maria. Luna clearly has an ability to get the best out of actors and to create the right situation for something special to happen. I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for what she does next. I don't really want to watch Horde again, but I would highly recommend this film as something very original, if somewhat disturbing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.